Welcome to my channel. I want us to discuss an important topic today, and I will start this topic by posing a question. Does the health of the president matter? Let me repeat it again. Does the health of the president matter? The president of a country, is his health very important? Is it supposed to be an issue of consideration in electing president? This question is very important for us to think about it, meditate about it, as Nigerians prepare to vote for the next president of the country. Already, the three leading presidential candidates are Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, and Mr. Peter Obi of Labour Party. The president of the country is going to emerge from among these three people. And I still ask, does the health of the president matter? In many parts of the world, especially in the United States, where we borrow the presidential system of government, the health of the president matter, especially in recent times. That is why, even as presidential candidates emerge in America, their health history are an open book. Anybody can read it. Now, this is very important because as Nigerians are preparing for the 2023 election, there are those who think that the health of the president doesn't matter. In this video, I'm going to show that it matters, because the office of the president is an enormous responsibility. Even men with the soundest of health used to be weighed down by the weight of the office. So anybody going to that office should be somebody who could be able to endure the pressure without the pressure deteriorating the person's health even more. Many of us here who are watching this, we all are living witnesses of the early years of President Muhammadu Buhari administration. In fact, throughout the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, it was characterized by medical trips abroad. He has spent, if you calculate the number of days the president spent abroad, you may not be wrong that at least 1 year of his administration was spent on taking care of his health out of Nigeria. It was an issue that many wish never happened. It is an issue that many who are reasonable will not want to wish again upon Nigeria going forward. Now, let me say this. There are some illnesses that can affect the capacity to do a job, and there are those that can allow a president to do a job. If a candidate is suffering from debilitating ailment, debilitating ailment means that things will continue to get worse. Constant memory loss, have a disease that leads to constant memory loss, lead to inability to control persons' nerve systems, inability to control the body's system, because as these debilitating ailments continue to happen, the brain gets weaker and weaker because the brain works with the nerves. It becomes an issue. But a person can have health challenge and still be effective as president. Let me give you a typical example. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was a disabled president of the United States. He had polio while he was already in government. You know, we all know that polio used to be a disease, a crippling disease that affects children. But he was hit by polio at his prime. In fact, when he was at the White House as the President of the United States, many people didn't know that their president was on wheelchair because, one, it was an era when there was not much television. So Roosevelt communicated to Americans basically through the radio, and he was the beloved of America. He was the president that led America through the war, the Second World War. He is rated as being probably the best president America has ever had. Roosevelt. He was on a wheelchair. In fact, if Roosevelt had wanted to continue to rule America till death, he would have done so. Despite the fact that he was a wheelchair, he was beloved, he was effective. But his brain was sharp. He wasn't suffering from a debilitating ailment. His polio paralysis was not an issue about his capacity to run America. Now, there are some illnesses that people can suffer, and it becomes an issue and a challenge if they are to be president of a country. President Roosevelt never suffered dementia. President Roosevelt never suffered Parkinson's disease. This Parkinson's disease and dementia are crippling, debilitating disease that keep on deteriorating the person's health till probably the person dies. And it removes the ability to think correctly, to act efficiently, to maintain balance even in walking, maintain ability to stand and hold things and all that. Parkinson's disease. Many of us are familiar with boxing legend Muhammad Ali. He had Parkinson's disease. It has no cure. That was what eventually killed him. Now, having said this, should Nigerians be concerned about the health of the next president? This is because when we go through our recent history, especially with reference to the current president, President Muhammadu Buhari, it may give us concern about who we are going to elect next president in 2023. Please, before we go forward, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to this channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell, like this video, share it widely, and if you subscribe to this channel, anytime we have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari was one president that has traveled so much, and all those travel affected his capacity to govern the country, no matter what anybody tells you. Now, I will give a typical an example. In 2020, the Senate rose in in condemnation of the constant travel of President Muhammadu Buhari for medical trips abroad. Now, why were they concerned? Because his frequent travel for medical treatment was costing the country a lot. Because the country has a hospital for the president known as Aso Villa Clinic, but it was not being used. Perhaps it doesn't have the capacity or the facility or the personnel to treat the president. Now, in November 2020, that was when the Senate, I thought there were series of them, but I just want to use this as an example of what we're talking about. The Senate frowned at the increasing cost of Muhammad Buhari's travel abroad for medical treatment. That was the Senate raises this issue through the Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs with the State House Permanent Secretary, Tijani Omar, when Tijani Omar came to defend the budget of the State House. Omar had presented a budget of 19.7 billion for 2021. Out of this, 1.3 billion was proposed for the State House Clinic. Now, the Senate said that they are going to approve the money for the State House for the State House Clinic, but they are not going to allow money to be spent on foreign trips, frequent foreign trip for medical reason. Of course, you and I know that they were not able to do that because they just have to approve money for the president. Now, what will interest you about this particular topic is that President Muhammadu Buhari spends a whole lot of money, government money, in going abroad for medical treatment. This was a drain on the foreign exchange of the country because treating a president outside the country is a very expensive business. It is a very expensive business. For example, in 2020, 3.5 billion was approved in the budget for medical trips of the president and other trip. 3.5 billion. That's in the budget for 2020. And this amount was double the amount that was approved for him in 2019, which was 1.4 billion naira. Now, this amount, if you combine it just for 2 years, he is president for 8 years. Now, this 3.5 and 1.4, that's roughly 4.9 billion in 2 years. 4.9 billion just for the medical treatment of the president in 2 years. I use these two budgets, 2019 and 2020. Think about it. For a country that is facing serious economic challenge, a president is spending 4.9 billion just for only his travel for his health and other travel, but basically it's about his health. Now, are we going to allow another president that will pass through this route again? This is for 2 years out of 8 years, because I didn't want to bring the issue of what was budgeted for his travels from 2015 to 2019 and then up to 2022. I just picked these two budgetary allocation to help us understand that there is a need that Nigerians don't make the mistake of putting another president who is going to be a drain in our scarce foreign exchange. Already, the Minister of Health, that's Dr. Osage Ehindere, he said Nigeria spent about 1 trillion on medical tourism. And this includes both government officials, ordinary Nigerians who has the money to go abroad and treat themselves. But here we are more concerned about the president. Of course, when you add that amount, you have to include what the president also spends in taking care of his health. So the health of the next president should be of concern. Are we ready to elect another president in Nigeria who will spend 4.9 billion naira for medical trips in 2 years? Or are we going to look for a president who has his health all together so that he can concentrate in solving the enormous problem facing Nigeria? Nigeria is facing existential challenges. It doesn't require a part-time president, a president who will be around for a month, 2 months, and then 3 months, 4 months, will spend it outside the country to take care of his health. This is critical. Nigerians should think about it. Let Nigerians not be influenced by religion, by ethnicity, and what other primordial sentiments in their choices. Between the presidential candidates of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, which of these three candidates do you think that has the mental sharpness, the physical alertness to be able to run this country without the country being distracted by his or her health? That is the question that Nigerians must begin to ask themselves. Because Nigerians have critical questions to ask themselves. Do you want a continuation of a system where the president can travel and stay away for 50 days, stay away for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? Or do you want a president who can be around all the time to address the challenges facing this country, because the challenges facing this country is enormous. A president we are electing in 2023 should not be a president who will be outsourcing his responsibility because he is not able to be on seat in that sort of villa because of ill health. Let Nigerians think about it. Let Nigerians think about it. Between these three candidates, Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress. Which of these three people can you vote for, vouch for, that they have the soundness of health to be able to run this country without their health distracting the enormity of problems already facing Nigeria right now? Nigeria is facing existential problem. There are separatists all over the place. There are bandits. There are terrorists. There are jihadists. There are enormous challenges facing this country. The economy is collapsing. Unemployment is over 33%. It's unheard of anywhere in the world. That's why there is so much crime and criminality, so much killing, ritual killings, all whatnot. We need a hands-on president who will be ready to work his ass out, and not somebody who will, after a while, he will break down and then travel abroad and the country will be left without a leader. We know that the Constitution made provision for the vice president, but Nigerians are electing their president in 2023 and not their vice president. So Nigerians should think clearly about the issue of the health of the president. Does it matter? If it matters, what can you, the electorate, do to avoid a calamity caused by an incapacitated president being put in office because of ethnic or religious sentiment? Let Nigerians think about this very well as they prepare to go and vote in 2023. Thank you for watching this. God bless you. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel, anytime I have any new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you.